Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Small Biz Highlight. My name is Tiffany Roman, and I am your host. If you are joining us just for the very first time, thank you, first of all. Love having you here. Small Biz Highlight is coming up on its 1-year anniversary this month. I cannot believe it, but I am so grateful for this opportunity and this journey that I've been on, and so thankful for all of you who have been there for me. As you all know, this year I've kind of been on this, rampant rage about how 2021 is your year. This is your year. No matter what your dream is, no matter what your aspirations are, no matter what goals you have in life, this is the year that you are going to conquer them all, obtain them all. I'm putting that out into the universe because everybody just deserves a chance to have some luck in their lives, some good karma, all that good stuff. So I'm just throwing it out there. All right. So before we get started, some little admin notes. Today is the first day that we are trying something new. Usually Small Biz Highlight goes live at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. every Monday, but people are starting to go back to work little by little. 1 o'clock was just not feasible. And I wanted to make sure that the small businesses that I was interviewing would have just as much chances of, being seen, being heard, being recognized. So I figured I'd switch it up a little bit and, bring it to the evening time. Have it be where I am helping out these businesses by, having a little happy hour of such. So I do have a drink. It's not alcohol. Let's see. I have my drink. It's watermelon, strawberry, something that my boyfriend had in the fridge. It looked good, so I figured I'd just grab it. But the cup is from Forever Etched. My good friend Shauna made it for me. So if you want some information, she does everything, anything. So I'm telling you beautiful stuff. But yes, so from now on, Small Biz Highlight will be streaming live starting at 6 p.m. on Mondays, and we will have the first guest from 6 p.m. to about 6:30-ish or so, and then we'll start again at 6:35 with the second guest and be done by 7. So that's why I have tried out the name Small Biz Happy Hour. So like I said, we're just going to try things out. This is the first day. I told my guests that they're my guinea pigs for the day. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited to introduce these businesses to you tonight. My first guest is Mr. Mark Dudek. I didn't ask him how to say his name, so I really hope I said that right. I'm telling you guys, I got to practice asking these people before I go live. I promise I'll get there one day. But let's see. Let me bring him on 1 second here. Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for, dealing with the time change and just dealing with me in general since I was gone for the last month and whatnot. So I really appreciate your patience.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. I can't wait to introduce your business to everybody. But first, I definitely want to take the time, like always, to give you a chance to introduce yourself to everybody. So, Mr. Mark Dudek, who are you?
Well, as you said, my name is Mark Dudek. I'm originally from Southern California, now living in Central Florida. So, been in the military 3 different times, moved quite a bit. Just enjoy getting around and traveling, and now I think we're at the point where we're settling down and getting our business going here. So, just enjoying life.
Wow, Florida. Oh, goodness. What's the weather like down in Florida?
I think today was about 85.
I cannot wait for warm weather. It was nice for a few days and then it went right back to cold and rainy. Gotta love PA weather. Gotta love it.
we had our rainy days too. We had some good rain Saturday and yesterday, as a matter of fact. So yeah, today it was just absolutely beautiful. It was 85. I think for the next couple of days it's supposed to be sunny and 85. So
wow, goodness. All right. So Mr. Mark, your business is called CSD Hardscapes, right?
yes, ma'am.
All right. So why don't you tell us first about how you got started? What is it all about? That kind of thing.
It's an interesting story. When I got out of the military for the last time, I took a job as a commercial electrician helper. So I got into the commercial electrical trade and had done that for just about 15 years. And the way I got into the hardscaping is actually a funny story. I was in between jobs, looking on Craigslist, and saw an ad that said veterans wanted. So I said, okay, well, I'll just check it out. So I looked into it, and it was for the opportunity to utilize my GI Bill to learn how to do the hardscaping. And it's a very unique style of hardscaping. A lot of people call it decorative concrete. Everything that we do is concrete. So I got the opportunity to learn that. I looked into it, did my due diligence and research, and talked to a few people who were already doing the process and got their ideas and feelings about it. So I decided to jump on it. I was living in North Carolina at the time, and the plan was that they were going to fly me down to Central Florida, actually in the same city I'm living in now, to train. And I was going to do that in February of 2017. And about a week before that, I had just started a new job as an electrical foreman. So I had to call him back and say, well, give me a month. Let me put it off for a month so I can give my new employer a heads up. So I ended up coming down here in March of 2017. Started learning it and absolutely fell in love with it. The creativity of it, the the things that we can do with the products that we have and that we use is simply amazing. Something I like to tell all my clients and potential clients is, if you can imagine it, we can do it. That your imagination is our only limitation. So, I mean, if anybody looks at the website, they can see some of the things we've done. It's absolutely incredible.
I actually have your website. So we're going to cheat a little bit and actually show people. No, I think this is really cool because I'm so used to, I know this is probably going to sound like really dorky, but I'm usually used to people talking about, the greenery side of landscaping versus hardscaping like you are. So,
Right.
I've had landscaping in I have a landscaping business in my family. Actually, my cousins have
Nice.
one, so I'm used to hearing a lot about landscaping and how it's so important, plants and all that. And then you don't hear as often. I feel that hardscaping is just as important to help build your dream of what you want your backyard or front yard to look like. Because I guess I never realized that that's what it was called versus the landscaping. It's called
Right.
hardscaping. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know.
You'd be surprised how many times I actually have to explain the difference between the two, because a lot of
Oh,
people,
really?
when I tell them I'm into hardscaping, they're like, "Oh, so you do landscaping?" And I tell them, "No, I do hardscaping."
Oh, well, good. I don't feel so bad then.
They're complementary, for sure. You have to
Yes.
have you have to have landscaping with the hardscaping, not necessarily the hardscaping with the landscaping, but it certainly enhances the end result. So yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well, now I don't feel so bad. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's beautiful stuff though, like stuff that this fire pit. I mean, these are things that people are always, wondering, how can I get that? And they're assuming they just
Absolutely.
have to buy it already made. And here you can just create whatever it is that they want for their backyards. And oh goodness.
Absolutely. Can you scroll back up to
Yes.
where that fire pit is?
Yes.
And I'll tell you something interesting about that project. That
Okay.
project right there, the retaining wall, the patio that it's sitting on, and the fire pit itself took about 4.5 hours to install.
That only took 4.5 hours?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep. And all of
And then,
that's 100% concrete. It's
and
not
they
your
could,
standard concrete. It's a certain type of concrete that we use. with an additive that we put into it once the concrete truck arrives, which
Mm.
is an emulsifier, which for those that don't know is a chemical that constantly draws moisture out of the air to harden itself, basically.
Yeah.
So it's constantly drawing moisture, even after it's already cured. It's still constantly drawing moisture out of the air to harden itself even more. So yeah, that's what allows
Wow.
us to take fresh concrete, pour it on the ground, and stack it up to make the walls. We don't use any forms like typical concrete contractors do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the fire pit itself, the retaining the wall around it, the seating area kind of, and the patio itself is all that type of concrete. The
Wow.
fire pit is actually a GFRC panel system, which is glass fiber reinforced concrete. So yeah, that allows us to do those things so quickly.
It's so pretty. It looks like stone. Like
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
you describe it, and what it looks like stones that you put together.
It,
That
it
must.
it does. That's the reasoning behind it. Is we don't use any natural stone in anything that we do.
Wow.
Everything is strictly either concrete or the GFRC paneling. So when we pour it and we stack it like that and smooth it out, we carve it to look like stone, and then we color it afterwards and seal it so that color does not fade.
I'm telling you, that's beautiful. And the idea that you got it done, like you said, in 4.5 hours, that's mind blowing. Because
Absolutely.
usually I would assume, looking at this picture, it took you days, maybe not weeks, but days at least to let it set, let it figure itself out. And you're telling me that's not even the case. That's crazy.
No,
How
that
much
that's
would something like this cost? I'm
something
assuming it's a lot of
just like
labor
that.
involved.
There is, but again, because we can do it so quickly, we can stay fairly competitive. What we do is more of an art form. So anybody else that came in and would use natural stone to build all that would take a week maybe. Whereas, like I said, we did that in 4.5 hours. So I mean, something like that. I believe that retaining wall goes further back on both sides of it. I think it goes at the top of the picture. I believe it goes back about 60 feet, and on the bottom of the picture was about 40 feet. So I believe that project ran right at about 13,000.
Wow.
But to have
Goodness.
something like that in, that was of course, uh, we poured it and we carved it, and with the patio itself we stamped it and we cut it to look like flagstone, and then the fire pit we had all that done in about 4.5 hours, and then we came back the following day to color it just because it got
Wow.
late in the
Okay.
day because we started late.
Yes.
So I mean, in essence, it took us in total hours maybe a full day's work, but
Mm-hmm.
we broke it up into 2 half days. We came back the second day and colored it, but still to have something like that in 2 days versus a week, that's
Yes.
what sets us apart.
No, I absolutely agree. That just blew my mind. It's so beautiful. That was actually going to be my
Thank
next
you.
question. How do you make it different colors? But you just answered that.
Yeah, it's a concrete stain that we use. It's a proprietary product.
This is just amazing. I love that you can do everything. Like this outdoor kitchen, I'm telling you, I have so many pictures of examples off the internet of what I want my dream backyard to look like. And it always includes a big backyard kitchen. So, oh my
Absolutely.
goodness.
Yeah, those that's a definite must have.
Oh,
That that
absolutely.
that
And the
middle
idea to
picture.
have
Go ahead.
like
I'm sorry.
no, this like it's just crazy how the things that you're doing here. Like this is a pool with these rocks with this like rock structure behind it. But you have
Right.
these beautiful like fountains or whatever you want to call them. Oh my goodness. Like it just looks like so much work. But it's so beautiful.
It is, but it's fun. We love what we do.
This one, look at this. What is this? A resort?
That's actually somebody's backyard.
That is super fancy. I want to go have a party at that person's house. I don't know about anybody
Absolutely.
else out there that may be watching, but that looks like the major party zone right there. What?
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun for us because it was something different that we got to do. That was the first time we had done something like that. It was
Wow.
a, it was a I don't want to say a pain, but the homeowner, of course, had to drain their pool for us to be able to do that, and then they had to get it filled back up later on. So
that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah, but yeah, absolutely, that was an awesome project that we were allowed to do.
It just looks so magical. Goodness. And you can tell that you guys love doing this because you can tell that you take your time with it, take care of it, and attention to detail. Like it
Absolutely.
looks like rocks. I don't know how else to explain it. It's
That's the intent.
crazy. I'm telling you, you blew me away, my friend. You blew me away.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I know you told us about how you got into it and whatnot. I mean, and it's just crazy. I mean, in Florida, you probably have no problem whatsoever finding customers because
Yeah,
thankfully it's always nice down there. If someone
absolutely.
calls you,
Go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No,
No,
go ahead.
I was going to say that was the reason we moved down here. When I first started the business, like I said, we were living in North Carolina
Yeah.
at the time, and during the summertime, it's beautiful there. I love the countryside where we lived and all that. But during the wintertime, it's kind of hard to do what we do, with
Oh,
6 inches of snow on the ground. So we decided to move down to Florida, and we were actually looking at Tampa when we first thought about it, and it was a little pricier than what we were looking for, I guess you could say. And I had a friend here in Ocala who's also a veteran, and he said, "Yeah, come on down, man. The construction industry is booming down here. Yeah, what you do, people will absolutely love. Ocala, where I live, is known as the horse capital of the world. So there's definitely a lot of horse ranches and things like that down here. And
Wow.
I thought it was kind of a cool full circle kind of deal, where this is where I was trained to do it. So, why not come back here?
Oh, yeah. It makes sense. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. I'm telling you, you're doing beautiful work. If
Thank you.
people
Thank you.
call for an estimate or whatnot, how does that usually work? Is it like just a typical phone call, or you're going to their house to see what they want to look for? I mean, because I know you
Most of the time,
said
with what I like to be different than what everybody else is doing. Any other contractor is going to go out there. You're going to call them. They're going to come out, take some measurements, maybe ask you a few questions, and then they're going to leave, and you'll get their estimate in the mail or email, a couple of days later. I don't necessarily like the term estimate because everybody uses it. So what I tell people is I do one-on-one design consultations.
ooh,
It sounds fancy, I know.
it does sound fancy. I like it.
So I like my clients to have the ultimate experience. So if they call me, then we'll set up a time day that I'll go out to the property and we'll discuss things, or they'll contact me by email or text or Facebook or however they get a hold of me. But we'll schedule a time. I'll go out there. I'll tell them to set aside at least 30 minutes, at least, so that I can sit down and talk with them. We can look at the area that they want to improve. And then I can ask them a series of questions that will allow me to better understand their personality, why they want what they want. And if they're not sure what they want, then I can give them ideas, and we can really get to know each other. I'm not just there to,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to take measurements, leave, give you my estimate, and that's it. There's no personalization there. So I like to develop that relationship while I'm there, because again, that helps build that trust factor.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also what sets a small business aside from a big name company, because the
Absolutely.
big names are only going to be worried about how much money they can charge you. What
Exactly
more can
right.
we do for you?
And
But
they're gonna send somebody out that they
yeah,
sit in an office all day and crunch numbers. Whereas
yeah,
I'm coming out there. I'm the one that's doing the work because I own the company.
yes.
I'm not just sitting in an office all day. I actually come out there and talk to the people. I help them with their design, and then I come out there when it's time to do the work, and I get the work done. So
And how long have
that's
you
the
been in
benefit.
business again?
Just over 4 years now.
Wow. Goodness. So, all right, with COVID and the shutdowns last year, I mean, it had to have impacted you like crazy just because you weren't allowed to really do much, right? Or were you still able to do some work?
Well, we moved to Florida right when that started happening, right when it started
Oh,
getting bad. So, Florida
okay.
was really open when we got here. So, because we had just moved here, it's almost kind of like starting over again, as far as, getting our business out there and letting people know that we're here. But I mean, I think I've done maybe one consultation where they asked me to wear a mask, and that was it.
Okay.
So every other time I go to somebody's house, and we just have a conversation.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very lucky. I mean, you're not the only business who said that either. Like, I've had those that have been really impacted by the shutdowns, were completely shut down. Nothing was able to be done, and they didn't know what to do with themselves.
Right.
But, there are those fortunate ones that, did not have as much of an impact on them. And, I'm just so grateful for you and your business that did not happen.
I
Especially
believe
because
me.
you just moved to the area. Like, I couldn't even imagine how much that would have impacted you to that extent, just because you were new to the area and you're trying to bring your business there. So, oh my
I,
goodness. So I'm
I was
glad.
very fortunate because, again, like I said, I have a friend here, local, that was here before we moved here. But there's I don't want to say the word ginormous, but there's a really huge veteran presence here
Yes.
locally, and so that really helped, with us getting the word out there. I met a lot of amazing veterans since I've been here, and there's a veterans group that we're all involved in. It's nothing but veteran business owners. So, that really helped as well with getting us out there. Made a lot of connections.
Oh, gotta love it. Connections is all that I mean, I say it all. I try to say it at least once every episode. Word of mouth is huge for small businesses, everybody.
Absolutely.
It's why I started doing the show. It's why, I'm trying to do my part for, the small biz community, just to, help spread the word. Even if I just
Absolutely.
have one person that's new that learns about you today, then I feel like I have helped your business to the best of my ability for right now. But Lord only knows how many people are actually watching right now and experiencing you for the first time. Be like, hey, I have family down in Florida, or you never know the contacts that you'd get out of this. It's so amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes,
I try to network whenever I can.
you have to. Oh my goodness. So I want to thank you, first of all, for taking time out of your busy day. I know you just got home from work and like logged in. So, thank you so much for taking the time, trusting me with your story to promote your business. It really means the world to me to have that and the opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm very appreciative to be on your show.
Thank you. If you are just watching us, you missed a really great episode with Mr. Mark Dudek here from CSD Hardscapes. He's down in Ocala, Florida, and building beautiful, beautiful rock formations without rock. So if you know anybody in the Florida area who may be interested in, upping their game in the backyard a little bit, Mr. Mark is going to be your contact to do it. For my veterans out there, we got to support each other. He's got that double whammy there. He's a small business owner and he's a veteran. Got to get the name out there, guys. So help me spread the word. Share this video, comment underneath it, tag people who you think may be interested in it. Maybe you have friends who may be interested in a similar business. I have no doubt that Mr. Mark here would have no problem in helping them answer questions and whatnot,
Absolutely.
because like we've always been telling everyone, small businesses are their own little clan. We're our own little group here, our own little family. We
That's
help
right.
each other grow. Well, we're all successful when we all grow.
Absolutely. There's
So
a veterans group in Facebook that I'm in.
yes,
And one of the main sayings in there is a rising tide lifts all ships.
yes, I love it. It's could because it's true. It's true.
Absolutely.
It does. It benefits the majority. It benefits everyone when we all stop and just help the one. It always does. Always
Exactly.
does. So, I thank you again for taking the time to be here today, trusting me with your story and your business. Thank you to everyone who stopped by for at least a moment to, take a look, listen in. I am so grateful to all of you for your support over the last close to a year. Oh, I can't believe it. But as always, towards the end of the episode, I give you your beautiful reminder to put your community first. The easiest way to do that is by supporting small businesses and shopping small. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And I will be back in about 4 or 5 minutes or so with my next guest. Thank you, Mr. Mark. Have a good night.
Thank you, man. You too.